Hello everyone, once again, and welcome back to Packs and Recreation. And today we are going once again to the Fallout world, but this time the focus is going to be a little bit different. Why? Because we are going to focus not only on what we're opening after the major successes that we had, but also because we're going to comment the Fallout TV series. Why? Because everyone is a nerd here, and normally we're all nerds of specific fields. I want to use the strategical advantage that I have of being a video game nerd, a magic nerd, and, well, I guess a Amazon Prime Video nerd. So, oh, I watch series. Ooh, crazy. So, as usual, collector boosters. And there you go. Some of the happy things that I noticed after watching the series is that, well, Wizards and Bethesda, obviously, don't let one go, because, yes, there is a bunch of references to the universe of Fallout, but more importantly, there are a bunch of references to the series in more than one occasion, right? So it's mostly the games, but there are a couple of things here that you're like, huh, okay. So let's see. Arcane Signet, One with the Machine. Obviously, most of the stuff is from the video games. There are a couple of references here and there that you can be like, wait a second. Like, also, I love some of the cards like this. The drawing style, you just gotta love it because it's the retro style. And also all the lands that are not as good as the lands that you want. Mr. House, President and CEO. So New Vegas and the house, the more you look at the decks and the series, the more you realize that there are two types of people. The people that love New Vegas and the people that make an effort to hate New Vegas. So you have a bunch of cards like Yes Man, Mr. House, etc. that are, well, based on the best modern Fallout game, which is Fallout New Vegas. And yes, Liberty Prime is there, Dr. Madison Lee is there, which are from Fallout 3, and then you have a bunch of generic Fallout stuff, right, such as these two. But overall, there's a lot of New Vegas specific stuff, and I was very happy to see that the series also makes references to a bunch of things. So I guess, ooh, search foil. I keep saying warp foil in one of my previous videos, and I got my ears pulled because it's like, hey, it's not search, it's warped. I was like, sorry. So the Mr. House actually appears on the series in the moment when the companies are discussing stuff in the flashback. That's Mr. House. But obviously before New Vegas, so that's a very nice detail. And Sinclair is also right next to him, which is also very good. Yes Man doesn't appear anywhere. You obviously have other robots that make a wink towards the style of robot that is Yes Man, like the one in the shopping, in the supermarket thing with the two stoners. But, I think that the most important thing is that the T-45 power armor, the references to New Vegas that are there. And I'm trying to not spoil anything. Plus, I mean, most of the things that I'm saying are only a spoiler if you really like Fallout as a series, because you will only understand some of those names after, like, if you are a fan of Fallout already. So if I tell you Mr. House, President CEO, and you never played New Vegas, you're going to be like, that's a card, I guess. It's like, well, yes, you're right, that's a card. Even though we're talking about a character that is very important in the lore of, at least New Vegas, obviously, but Fallout as well. So the whole New Vegas controversy is fascinating to me, because you can tell how much people cares about New Vegas? And there's this back and forth thing that happens with the Fallout fandom, right? Like a lot of people just like Fallout. They like Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, if you are that type of people. And some people, some people played New Vegas and liked it, some people didn't, because it's slightly different to the others, but still, it's the same engine as Fallout 3, to the point that I discovered recently that there is a mod that allows you to play the two of them together. It's called A Tale of Two Wastelands. It's actually pretty well done, and there's a bunch of stuff to put on top of it. And my mind was blown away. It's like the modding community for the Bethesda games. That's like half the reason why you buy the Bethesda games, which is normally the reason why I recommend to buy it when it's like, Bundle Blast, when it's like 50% off, because you're going to pay 50% of the normal price for the game, and then the rest you can just donate it for the modders, because they are going to make your life so much easier. Now, there is a debate about if you should mod a game. There you go, Mr. House again. If you should mod a game the first time you play it. And well, as a person that really loves video games as an art, I have strong opinions about that. I believe that you shouldn't, because you are, to a degree, ruining the original experience. Now, when the game is very buggy and very faulty, if the mods that you're adding are for stability and improvements and fixing small bugs and stuff like that, I don't see a problem with that. Now, if you're really a purist, some people say, well, that's not cool either, because what's happening is that, Soul Ring, there you go, the playmat. We need to talk about this in a second regarding the series as well, but whatever. If you mod the game so that the gameplay quirks are fixed, you are changing the essence of the game. Now, that's a debate to have, because do you want to keep the original essence even if the gameplay is janky, or do you want to just fix it even if that is not the original experience, right? I am somewhere in the middle. It depends on the game. I normally try to play it first without mods, unless the first time trying is so unbearable and I'm like, okay, now we need to mod this thing. But with Bethesda games, like, half of the appeal is to be able to mod them. So thanks to this, well, there's a bunch of stuff that can be added to any of these games, and it's actually pretty crazy. It was like, I normally added some mods. I never did the Tale of Two Wastelands, and I was blown away. There's also, it's like playing Pokemon Gold. You play Johto, and then you play Kanto, because you play Fallout 3, and then you play New Vegas. And yes, there is no reason to believe that the courier is the dweller from Vault 101. But it can be, right? So that's your headcanon. That you do whatever. So, plus, I mean, also, it's fun and all, but at the same time, we're talking about what? 150 hours at least of Fallout uninterrupted. That's a lot of gameplay. I don't know if any faint heart can do it. Plus, a pure purist will tell you that, I mean, don't play Fallout 3, just play Fallout New Vegas, which is a superior version. But that kind of also applies to all the other 3D Fallouts. And this is where the fandom divides, right? Like, I believe that the best one is New Vegas, but that's because that's what I value in those games, which is the story, the choices, and overall Obsidian just made like one hell of a game in 18 months, which is even crazier if you think about it. Now, if you just want like the classical Bethesda experience, which is just like walking around, grabbing everything, upgrading yourself, killing people, having some very basic choices here and there, yeah, why not? Like, the other games are not bad. I mean, if there were bad games, they wouldn't be as popular as they are. Like, and you may be thinking, well, you can say that about everything. It's like, oh, Call of Duty is popular, it's not good. It's like, well, Yes and no. I mean, I may not like Call of Duty. Maybe it's not my cup of tea. And you can argue that yes, there are games that are better made or like have more attention to detail or are more have more innovation to them, etc. Sure, but you know, there's always a basis, even if a very small one, for why something is popular. Maybe it's because it was lucky, maybe because it works, maybe it's the theme. I don't know. There's always something there, and if people enjoy it, you know that meme of the let people enjoy things. Well, pretty much that. Just let people enjoy things. Now, that's why I don't weigh that much in the Fallout debate. It's like, oh, this is the best one. The others are shit. Yeah, well, I mean, just enjoy whatever you want. If you want my recommendation, just play New Vegas. That's the best one. But if you feel too old or too young and just want to go pew pew and do stuff, well, play Fallout 4. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, we're not going. I'm going to lie to you. Oh, farewell, nice. So. Now, going back to the series. The series is canon. It's canon to the games. It happens after Fallout 4. So in case you're wondering, the timeline is Fallout 76, and then Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and 4. And it happens, I think, 9 years after Fallout 4. Now, the biggest drama is that at the end, the biggest drama that the series had, because the series is pretty good. I will say that I wasn't expecting anything, which maybe that's half of the reason why I enjoyed it so much. I was like, I don't, like, another video game adaptation, I'm going to be disappointed. Plus it's Fallout, plus, Bethesda is there, I don't know, it's going to be whatever. But it was pretty solid, I have to say. It respected a lot of concepts from the games. It changed some things from the lore, or at least retcon them in a way that is like, no one said that it will be this way or that way, so it's like, okay, whatever. Like, for example, the ghouls, we never saw them drinking anything to avoid being feral. It was just a process that could happen to you or not happen to you, and it was, imply that it's related to stress, to situations that happen, to your genetics, etc. But apparently, in here is like, no, there is some vials of something, and that's the thing that keeps you from going further. It's like, okay, I mean, that's, some people are making a lot of a big fuss about it. It's okay. I mean, the only worry that I have is that it does add a weird economy to the Fallout world, because I like it as a resource. It's like, oh, they need this chemical to avoid being feral. That's actually pretty nice. That's like, you can build like Fallout 5 and have mechanics around that. That's pretty good. And you can just say that, like, oh, it was always like that. The game's never focused on that, but it was always like that. And that's a very good excuse. But I have to say that it does bring some questions about the economics of the previous games, if that's the case. Because if that's the case, those vials should be very freaking expensive. Because, I mean, a ghoul is a very valuable member of society if you keep it non-feral. Ooh, Coca-Cola vending machine. Let's go. Why? Because, I mean, for combat, they are very good. Because, I mean, the ghouls are not immortal, but they just don't die naturally. So you can dispose of a ghoul just by shooting it in the head. But it doesn't die. So a ghoul scientist, as we see in some of the games, is actually very useful for humanity. Because it's a person that has been doing the same thing for 100 years or more. And imagine the amount of knowledge and prowess that you can accumulate by doing the same thing you're doing for 100 years. I mean, assuming it's your passion, you're not being, forced to it. That's some interesting concept. Now, if you need those vials, the economics are interesting, because those vials have to be freaking expensive, have to be a lot more expensive than any caps and stuff like that you can have laying around. So those are more or less kind of my worries. Then you have the whole drama about the thumbs up thing. And yes, because in the past, yes, there was this myth about Fallout that the whole Pip-Boy thing, the one that he's doing in the playmat and so on, about the thumbs up and winking his eye, it was because it was doing the thumb check, which is if you do a thumbs up and when explosion goes off, if you do a thumbs up and your thumb covers the explosion, that means that you will be safe. If it doesn't, you need to run away, or as they say in the series, don't bother. You're just too close to the explosion, right? So that's what a lot of people assume that the Pip-Boy was doing. The Vault Boy was doing, and they people from Bethesda and the creators of Fallout, like Tim Kaine and I think Brian Fargo said it as well. I'm not sure. They said like, well, I mean, that's cool, but that's not the reason. It's just like that campy thing, like, yeah, everything is cool, everything is okay, don't worry. Go into the vault, right? Which is also fun, is also cool. The series plays with that and kind of does a nod to that at the same time, but they don't necessarily say that it's because of that. Actually, when the person starts doing the thumbs up, is just to look better, but it's not the military thumbs up. So they flirt around with the concept just as, to talk to the audience that knows the lore and be like, hey, remember this? Well, maybe it's the case. And you're like, oh man, okay. So, it's that type of flirting that I appreciate about the series, because it's like, well, this was written by people that care. Now, the one point of contingency was the very last scene in the series, when you see a very last scene. I mean, it's not even relevant to most people. They will just see a city that is kind of in ruins, and the city is New Vegas, right? So, most people will only know that it's called New Vegas because in the credits, when they do the 3D thing, it says "Welcome to New Vegas." It's like, oh, that's New Vegas. If you play the game, you recognize it immediately, but it's not in its former glory. So that's the whole drama, and the drama was so big because people really love New Vegas, and the timeline was not matching, that Todd Howard had to come out and say like, hey, guys, it's okay. It's actually because of this, and this. It matches. New Vegas is canon, because people were already saying like, yeah, they decanonized New Vegas. Those damn. It's like, yep. I mean, I will say, yes, there's a lot of speculation of Bethesda's position in regards to New Vegas, because they didn't make New Vegas. New Vegas was made fairly fast and compared to other games, and it's very well regarded. So there's a lot of speculation online about the fact that, well, Bethesda very likely and Todd Howard don't like New Vegas because it's like, the cool kid that is not mine. So because of that, there's a lot of like, oh, they did it for sure. And the guy was just like, bro, it's okay. It fits. Now, if it actually fits since the beginning, or they kind of had to fix it to avoid some backlash, that's up to anyone to debate. But nonetheless, speaks volumes about people's opinion. Then, of course, now, by the way, let's pick the best looking one from each color. Then, of course, I think it's going to be farewell, but whatever. Then, of course, you have the ever-going debate of like people not liking Todd Howard, so they by default don't trust whatever he says, because yes, there is a history of every time that he said something about the games, he promised things that were not there, or he exaggerated. It was more than promises, just that he exaggerated some facts, or used some expressions that led people to be disappointed, right? You could discuss if that is his fault or people's fault for believing him. Let's go with Ratstorm. It looks nice. And that makes the people just don't trust him. And there is that whole meme of like, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. It's like, I don't have like a grudge against the guy. I mean, if you know his history, like the games that he either participated on or directed or worked on, the guy is a struggler, and he's just doing his job. Obviously, he's going to go out there and be like, no, we're doing the best game ever, and it's 16 times the detail and all that. And it's like, maybe it's true in a very specific scenario. Maybe it's true. Now, what we can do is just kill the guy forever because of that, and assume that everything that he does is with some malicious intention. Every time that I see the guy, he looks very genuine and just, you know, like chill. So, you know, it's got some slack to the guy. That being said, New Vegas is the best game. Sorry, Todd. Not your fault. I mean, you could argue that it couldn't be done without the work that was done for Fallout 3, so you can share some of the reputation there. But it is what it is, right? So, yeah, overall, and because we are, like, by talking about the series, I kind of went over these collector box way fast. Overall, I mean, the series is actually pretty good. If you like Fallout, you're going to love it. I have no doubt. If you don't, and you don't know what is Fallout beyond the cards because you're a Magic player, and maybe you see some of this and you're like, oh, that seems interesting. Just go watch the series. It's, you know, accessible enough so that you can just, you know, they do introduce a lot of concepts. And everything is explained in a way that if you're a fan, you will like it. And you're like, haha, these guys. And if you're not a fan, you will be like, oh, that seems interesting. And by the end, you will either be like, oh, the series is okay, the series is good, the series is amazing. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad series by any means. I mean, you know, objectively, it's not a bad series. The amount of work and the effects are very well done. Like, you can't objectively say like, "Oh, it's trash," because I mean that will be not true. You can dislike it. I mean, you're in your right to not like it. I mean, come on, but it's a very well done product, and the actors really do their part brilliantly. So, you know, watch it if you're just a Magic player and you have some curiosity about some of the cards that you see here, similar to what happened to me with Doctor Who. Just, you know, go watch the series, and I can guarantee you that you will have at least an entertaining time. If you like it, that's great. Maybe you want to play a game of Magic with these cards, or you know, play Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas or whatever is more accessible to you. And if you like it but you don't want to play, that's also okay. But hey, you know, the more the merrier. That's the beauty of being a geek, of being a nerd, is to share your hobbies with passion and to try to bring more people to what you love so that more people can love it, so that they can make more stuff and you can keep enjoying your stuff, be it more or less canon, but at least, you know, enjoy it. The same way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time here on PAX and Recreation. See you next time. Bye.